You know, I was saying to Pat how awesome the Institute for Research in Musicians in Community, for musicians in the community, is, because it really grabs what this whole thing of ours is about. How many of us are musicians here? Can I just get a show so I can understand? And are you administrators as well, or are you just basically performers? Just to get a gauge of it. How many of you are just performers? How many of you are administrators as a perfect? Wonderful. We probably all have a sense of how this is all blending together, because when I said, are you, any of you just performers, you probably, some of you are kind of like this, because none of us are just one thing anymore. We're blending in all these different ways, and we're stretching ourselves all the time. And the fact that we're all here in this room talking about something about digital is another artifact of this phenomenon that's happening. Any talk about digital strategies often starts with a list or inventory of digital things. We talk about Facebook, we talk about Twitter, we talk about Snapchat, or we talk about iPhones, we talk about droids, our tablets. But strategy can't just be about those things. Because if it were about just getting onto those things, I got to be better at social media is what I hear all the time. If it's only about that, then it becomes an arms race. We usually don't go to that optimum place. Like, what's going to be the most cool concert? What's the concert I really want to see? What do I want to see get done? What do I want to feel? What do I want the audience to feel at the beginning of the show? What do I want them to feel at the middle? What can I do at the end? Does the concert actually start when the musicians take the stage? Could I start curating the experience in the lobby? What happens when they're getting outside their house? They're stepping outside their house. How can I curate that journey from their home to the concert hall? A gimmick is something that is inauthentic. And I know that's difficult to say because that is very subjective. But the second thing that it usually is that it's not sustainable. Now, it's not either sustainable because of the market, it's not sustainable because of the audience, it's not sustainable maybe because of money, but it's still not sustainable. The third thing, and this is the most important, is that it is easily copied. So if you think about it, if something you're doing is easily copied, is our artistic integrity really there? So last thing here is strategy is empathy. Now, a lot of people look at business structures and they go, well, I don't want to be a shark. I don't want to compete. I don't like when Adrian says competitive advantage. It seems like if I have a competitive advantage, my friends die a little bit. That's actually not true. Empathy, of course, everybody knows. Sympathy is like, okay, well, my dog died too, so I know how you feel. Empathy is like, I have no idea, but I'm going to try to understand what you're going through. And that's what a marketing plan is, isn't it? A marketing plan is to try to understand what your project looks like from somebody else's point of view.
But the point that I want to make about Beethoven is that there's been this conversation between musicians, between artists, and between inventors and digital people, where one side of the group, one side has pushed the other on a new invention that becomes a piece of art, a new piece of art that becomes a new invention. And what can we use to have kind of a critical lens as we're looking at these initiatives? Is it financially irresponsible or responsible? Is it spending a lot of money on a small artistic product? Is it artistically sound? This goes back to what Adrian was talking about. Are we creating an app just so that we can have a newspaper article to say that you created an app? Is it digital for the sake of being digital? Are we creating this big, complex digital thing that is very easily replicated by just a program book sitting on people's lap, for instance? Is it a gimmick? Adrian's favorite word. So we celebrated Canada's 150th anniversary with one of the largest music commissioning projects ever here in Canada. We commissioned 54 brand new works of orchestral music from composers across the country. We had performances in 40 different cities across the country. This is by TSO and by other partner orchestras. What you can see on your left side here is a map of the orchestra from the top. And as you're watching this performance in the video player on the right, whichever instrument has the solo or the main melody at the time, it lights up in green.
So I'm going to say thanks to these guys for a great presentation and invite you all to keep talking to them. In the faculty lounge we have some wine and cheese and nibbles, so please join us down there and we can keep talking.
Thank you.